How are you today? Good. Nope, any of the ones that are unclaimed, you are welcome to. And how is your bod today? Do you have anything going on I should know about?
Yeah, oh, just overall body?
Yeah.
Just recovered from a knee position last year.
Okay, do you have any restrictions? Okay, don't do anything that feels bad. Because we do, in the Sculpt class, we do like squats and lunges and stuff.
Okay.
So if the knee doesn't feel great,
Yeah.
just don't do it. I'm happy to offer modifications.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me for Pilates Sculpt. My name is Audra, and we're going to use weights today. If you're at home and you don't have weights, you can use wine bottles, gallon water jugs, whatever you want. As always, listen to your body. Don't do anything that doesn't feel right. Yeah, that's it. We're going to start standing. And first, we're just going to check in. So just start to pay attention to where your feet are, right? Like, is all your weight in your toes? Is all your weight in your heels? Or is it evenly distributed? And then just kind of check in with your knees, right? Are they locked behind you? Are they bent? Or are they just nice and neutral? And then the hip bones, are they pointing down, up, or straight ahead? And then if you think of your pelvis like a soup pot and your ribs like the lid, right? We don't want steam to escape at the front or the back. We want just the lid to be nice and firm. And then where are your shoulders and where are your ears? On your exhale, I want you to just draw your belly button in towards your spine without changing the shape of your spine. And on your inhale, we're widening through our ribs and allowing our diaphragm to lower. And then exhale, think of hugging everything together. Good. And so hopefully on your exhale, you start to feel your abs engage a little bit, right? And so on your inhale, inhale into the sides and backs of your ribs. On your exhale, hug everything together. Think of it being moving three-dimensionally, right? Good. Last one like this. Nod your chin, hollow out through the front of your body, and start to roll all the way down, just feeling your spine move. See if there are any sticky spots, and just start to notice if your weight shifted backwards. And if it did, shift it forward, and just dangle for a second. Nod your chin, yes. And then bend one knee, keeping your heels on the ground, and notice how that changes the stretch. Switch back and forth a couple times. It's getting a little bit of movement through the spine and hips. And switch. Back and forth just a couple times. And two. Last one. Go ahead and come all the way to hands and knees. Find your setup so your fingertips are gently pressing into the floor. And in fact, if you have wrist stuff, make sure you're pushing into your pointer finger mound. And just press your hands into the ground a little bit, widen through your knees, and lift one hand. That's it. We're trying to just see what our body says today. Bring that hand down, push it into the ground, other side. And just notice if there's a spot where your body tries to kind of shift or respond, right? In an ideal world, our ears are reaching away from our tailbone. You're able to push into the ground, connecting your serratus and your obliques, and nice and stable from side to side. Now, keeping both hands down, slide one foot out. Push it down into the ground here to help get that glute to activate. Now we're gonna pay attention to this bent knee. Shift your weight a little bit so you're kind of like over that hip. Now push the knee down and out to activate your side glute and bring you back to center. And then shift, focus on the back to center. If you're like, well, that's too easy, you can always lift that other foot. Don't go into a range. It doesn't feel good in that hip joint, right? We're focusing on the center. Pushing the elevated heel away, keeping your abs nice and strong. Last one, hold. Now reach the opposite arm away, pushing a hand and foot away and hold. Belly button draws up. Yep, hold, hold, slowly lower it down. Other side, so slide that foot out. Push it into the ground. Then sink your hips towards that bent leg. Good, now drive it back by activating that side glute. And again, a few more here. Good, trying to keep a neutral spine, right? So we don't want to necessarily round, but we also don't want to arch. We're still pushing our hands into the floor here. And if this gets to be too easy, hey, guess what? Lift the foot. Try to push it away from you rather than lifting it to the sky, right? Think about if you were being shot out of a cannon, right? One long line, nice strong abs. 3 more. 2. Last one, hold, push that opposite hand away, and we hold. Good, 5, 4, 3, belly button in and up, 2, 1. Bring both knees in. Now, if you need to come onto your forearms, no problem. If you need to be on your fists, with or without the weights, it's fine. Tuck your toes. Now, push up towards the sky, nice neutral spine. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna curl our tailbone towards our face. Maybe the knees elevate from the abs, maybe they don't. And then tap them down and flatten out your spine. Press, curl, maybe your knees hover, and then back. Good. Now, it's pretty tempting to just push into a Halloween cat position and really round through our thoracic. However, most of us tend to already over round through the thoracic. So if that's the case for you, try to use more lower ab to get that lower back to round a little bit. Yeah, good. 4. Good. 3 more. Nice job, you guys. 2. Last one, hold it up. Rotate your knees and hips to one side. Keep pressing down into the floor and back. Other side, keep pushing the floor away and back. Everybody feeling their obliques a little bit? Good. Now, it's easy to kind of drop into the hip and shoulder, right? But instead, I want you to push the floor away, right? We're trying to lift the hip on the opposite side rather than dump into the side we're rotating towards. Good. Belly button's elevated, bent knees. It's okay to round your back a little bit. Tuck your tailbone. Yeah, knees down. Press yourselves into a gentle rest position. Rolling out your wrists. Yeah, and then hands up and over to one side. Push your hips away. And then we get to do the other side. Now bring your hands forward. And we're going to kind of undulate into a knee plank. So lift your ribs, squeeze your glutes, knee plank. Good. So if you are here, I need you to push the floor away, lift your belly button more. Tuck your tail, yeah, good. Lift your belly button more. Tuck your tailbone slightly. Yeah, there you go. That's a little bit more. Yep, good. A little bit more. Here, more. Yeah, there you go. Now, keep that same connection. Tuck your toes. Push your toes into the ground, straighten your legs. Oh, full plank, hello. Now we're just gonna hinge around our shoulders as we bend our knees. Knee plank, tap, exhale, lift. Little tap and lift. Making sure you're not arching, right? If your butt starts sticking up, tuck, right? We want one long line from the crown of our head to our tailbone. 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold. Bend one knee, inhale. Exhale, reach it back, other side. So we're doing front support. Still pushing the floor away, still lifting your ribs, trying not to shift too much. Good. Keep your hips still, don't move your hips. Yeah, so when the knee comes in, the hips don't come with it. Don't let the hips lower, right? Imagine you have a coffee cup, or I don't know, a full glass of wine, whatever you like, on your low back. Don't spill it on your nice new clothes. I don't know why that's what people do for fun, but in this universe, they are. Last one, knees down. Press yourselves into a rest position. Feel free to roll out your wrist. How you guys feeling? Good? Good. All right, we're coming on to our forearms for this next one. Now, with forearms, it's much easier to be like, oh, my shoulders. So a lot of times with forearm planks, we tend to be here. That's a big internal rotation, and it makes it easier to kind of sink. So we're gonna imagine that our arms are on railroad tracks. We're gonna push our elbows into the ground, and then imagine hugging your elbows in towards you, almost like you're trying to drag them in. Lift your ribs, 1 foot at a time out. Good. Now, widen your feet if they're together. Just keep your ankles nice and dorsiflexed. Rotate your hips. Yep. And then back. Other side. Keep pushing the floor away. Back. Rotate. Back. Rotate. One more each side. Now, we get to go into a full side plank. Bring your ribs with you. And hold. Good, ribs in. Push that bottom foot into the ground. Squeeze your butt, lift your hips. Yeah. Now, hey, if you need, put one knee down. It's okay. Good. Now, come back through center. And I'm going to show the knee version as well, and then other side. If your arm pulls back, it's actually going to rotate you and make your shoulder have to work harder. So instead, push that hand towards the sky, and then back through center. If you're in full plank, great. If you're in knee plank, fine. But we're coming through plank the whole time, right? We're not coming out of plank. Front plank, plank, lift, hold, rotate, up. If you're struggling to come into plank through the center, bring your knees down, right? We don't want to collapse out of it. You can knee plank the whole time. No problem. Yeah, couple more. Nice job, you guys. We got one more each side. Last one. Knees down. Press yourselves into your rest position. Anybody else already starting to like get a little misty on their face? Yeah. Hands up and over to one side. Press your hips away from your hands. And then other side. Come back to center. Tuck your toes under. Press into your hands. And then we're just lifting our hips and straightening our legs. A little downward dog. Push the floor away. It's okay if your shoulders come up to your ears a little bit. Now we tap the knees down. Quadruped, press back. Quadruped, press back. Few more. 4, 3, hinging around the shoulder joint. 2, last one. Walk either hands towards your feet, or your feet towards your hands and dangle. Soften your knees. Roll all the way up. Nice job, you guys. All right, so bring your feet together. And first, we're not internally rotating, but we are hugging our inner thighs together like we're trying to pop a balloon. Then try to find a little bit of glute activation. So you're rotating out while still squeezing together. Good. Push one foot into the floor, float your other leg up. That's it. Yeah. Gorgeous. Now, for those of you who are on the mat, fantastic. Just know the squishier the surface, the harder those intrinsic foot muscles are going to have to work, right? So you can always come onto the floor or take a break. Good. Now, that bent leg, we're just going to brush it to the side and bring it in. Yeah. Good. And again. Now, if your balance is ever like, oh, guess what? The wall is our friend. Good. Suze, bring your nose back in space a little. Yeah, a little less. Now, if you want more challenge, we're going to challenge our vestibular system. You guys ready? Look over one shoulder. Hello. If you accidentally make eye contact with someone, smile, and then look over your opposite shoulder. Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah. And then that first shoulder. Yeah. It's harder to do than it seems like it should be. And another one. Ah. Nice job. Guess what? Other side. So the good news is this side might be your easier side. The other good news is it might be your more exciting side. So squeeze, find that activation, push into the floor, lift the foot, just hold for a second, see where your balance is. Now, just kind of notice where your knee is, right? If it's forward, like mine, that could indicate that your quadricep might be a little tight. So just notice if you bring the knee in line with your other knee, if you feel a pull on your knee or if your back is like, oh, I'm trying to help, right? Just lets us know where we are. Now, brush it up and back in. We're trying to find that glute rather than TFL. So we want to find that, if you think of your hips like a square, the front corners of the square are going to try to work a lot. We want the back corners of the square to work. Now, if your balance feels pretty good, you can add on. I didn't see anything. Other side, right? Takes a couple to kind of find it. How's everybody's glutes feeling? They already talking a little? Good. Couple more. Yeah. Last set. Amazing. You are all amazing. Feet down. All right. So we're going to bring our feet just in line with our hips. And for this one, it's just kind of an exploration. So send your hips back a little, let your knees come forward a little. Nice flat back. Now, we should be able to come into hip extension before knee extension, right? A lot of times when we're walking, we just immediately go into knee extension and stay in hip flexion. So keep your knees bent, okay? Try to keep them right where they are. Keep your ribs in so we're not arching, and you're just pressing your whole hip forward. I know it's kind of awkward, like, hey, what's up, right? But we're just trying to find abs, nice long line, and then back. Couple more. Pressing your feet into the floor. The bottom part of your glute is going to help draw your belly button in a little. Yeah, just like that. So think about your tailbone. Your tailbone is going to start to point forward, so is your pubic bone a little bit. Hip bones are pulling back. Good. Two more. Just finding hip extension without knee extension. Last one. If it doesn't feel good on your knees, you don't go into that range. Good. Yeah, nice strong abs here. Find those glutes. And then Send your hips down and back a little bit. Now, let's talk about this real quickly. If you're like, man, my back always does too much work, you might be leaning forward, right? A shorter lever is less work than a longer lever. So let your hips slide behind you a little bit. Yeah, good. Now, we tap one foot out. Boom. Beautiful. Making sure that knee is still over your second or third toe. Bring it in, push it back, and fold it in. Now, if you've ever done reformer, this is really similar to scooter, except you don't have the resistance of the carriage, right? But our nervous system is really cool, you guys. It responds to the stimulus we give it, even if that's mental stimulus. So imagine that you are trying to slide your foot through wet sand. Or imagine that there's like a heavy box that you want to kind of push away, right? And see if that helps that glute and hamstring start to kick on a little. Now, do I think that the moving leg is going to work as hard as the stabilizing leg? Nope. That stabilizing leg should be working real hard, yeah? Good. Susan, tuck your tailbone a little. Yeah, good. Stick your butt out more. Like this. Hey, what's up? Yeah, there you go. And then sink into it. Yeah. So we're loading this eccentrically. 2, last 1. Tap that toe in. Now, you guys have already found that you can go into hip extension without knee extension, yeah? So keep this knee right where it is. Nod your chin, hollow out and roll all the way down. Now to come up, keep your knee right where it is. Keep it like stationary. Push into the front of your foot. You should feel that soleus kicking on. Roll up, keeping knee flexion as we come into hip extension. Keep the knee bent and then roll all the way down. Was that harder than it seems like it should have been? Yeah, same. All right, keep the knee bent. Keep it right over those toes. Push your big toe mound into the ground. Keep the knee bent as you roll up. Yeah, last one. Rounding on the way down. Push into the front of the foot while keeping that heel down. Good. Once you stack, make sure you're in your neutral. Slide your hips back. And we're only going to about 90 degrees or less. Hips come behind you, press into your whole foot, hip hinge up. Yeah, keep the knee bent. So we just are sticking with that same theme, right? So one reason we want to keep the knee bent is because if we don't, we immediately go into knee extension and probably before hip extension. But with walking, running, any sort of power sport, the way we propel ourselves forward is with hip extension, right? Good. Keep your knee bent more if you can. Yeah, there you go. Keep it that way. Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, there you go, boom. Everybody feeling that glute a little or a lot? Yeah, same. Good. Now, all we're gonna do is add on. We're gonna add rotation. And then rotation. So if it's your left leg, right hand reaches across. And then back. But try not to rotate from your spine as much as your hips, right? So our hip bone is leading that charge. So that gets inner thigh, that gets glute. Yeah. Now, if you want, of course, you can lift that foot. My body's like, why would you do that to me, right? So if you're like, I want in between, just lighten the load of that toe. Yeah, 2 more. Last one. Come all the way up. Wonderful news, we get to do the other side. So, you okay, Sus? I saw that look. Oh. Okay, bring everything together. Sink it down. Now we've already found that like weird hip extension, right? So keep that knee bent. Send your hips back a little so you're loading them in their eccentric lengthened position. And we tap and bring it in. Good, and just tap. Good. Now, once again, you can either tap, you can hold on to something, whatever you need. You can also think of pushing. So, for example, on this side, my glute is like, I don't know what you want me to do. So if I hold on to something, I can find the work better. So if you have one side that maybe isn't cooperating as much, give your nervous system a little support for a couple, and then see. Okay? And then you can imagine pushing that foot through wet sand. You can imagine pushing a heavy piece of furniture away from you. Whatever works for you in your body today is what I want you to do. How's everybody feeling? That glute already talking a little? Yeah, same. We have 5 and 4. Good. 3. You're all champions. 2. Last one. Tap that toe in. Now we keep this knee bent. And we nod, hollow, roll. Let the back relax. Now, once you're on your way up, once again, keep the knee bent. Push into your big toe mound as well as your heel and just roll. You might feel your foot working really hard. You might feel your calf working. I immediately start trembling on this side, right? And maybe you do, maybe you don't. But make sure that you're making the connection to the floor, right? Roll, so we tuck, hollow out. It's like a waterfall. And then rolling it up. Like if you've ever done roll-ups, same concept. Good, now, hey, is that knee bent? Great. Keep your ribs in, slide your hips back. Good, tail feathers spread wide, push into the floor. Now, drive the hip forward, keeping the knee bent. Widen through the sits bones. Think about your pelvis moving around your thigh bone, right? A lot of our pelvis is really cool because, I know it's a weird thing to say, but I get excited about it because we can either just move our thigh bone in the socket, we can move the pelvis around the thigh bone, or they can move in tandem, right? So this time, even though yes, the thigh bone is moving some, we're envisioning the pelvis moving around the femur. Good, almost there. Keep the ribs in a little bit. One piece. Now all we're gonna do is add on. So once again, we're not arching, we're not crunching. One piece. And then as we reach, the hip bone is what moves. And then push into the foot. Yeah. Think about that inner thigh pulling the hip bone, and then that glute pushing it back. Kind of like what we did on all fours, yeah? Good. Few more. Yeah. 5. And 4. 3 more, you're almost there. And 2. Last one. Nice job. Are you guys excited about doing a plank? Because it means we're not doing more glute work for now? Yeah. Nod, hollow, roll. Hands come to the ground, knees come to the ground. And if you want to be on your hands, great, fists or forearms. We're just going to slide one foot out, other foot out. you are excited about doing this, you can bring your hands a little closer together, feet wide, and we can do one arm at a time. You can also do this in a knee plank, right? Still think of those like Thanksgiving hand turkeys, right? Make them kiss. So you've got a more narrow base of support, yeah. Good. If this is too much, hey, guess what? We did this at the beginning in a quadruped, right? We have a couple more, 4, 3, 2, last one. Knees down, press yourself into a rest position. Now this is going to be more exciting than it seems like it should be. Come on up onto your knees. Now, we're going to use those glutes and slide one foot forward. Maybe you get a stretch here. Yeah, now lift that front foot, bring it back, hips down. Bring it forward, other side. Good. And then all the way back down. It's gonna be even trickier for me. I'm just gonna, yeah. Good. Hey, guess what this is gonna be really important for? 3 guesses. Getting up and down off the ground? Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Good. Now, if you would like more excitement, bring it forward. Inhale. Exhale. Just lift that foot. See if you can hold it for a second. And then bring it down. Yeah. It's exciting. Inhale. Exhale. Yeah, and notice how one side might feel easier than the other. Yeah. I'm not going to watch the mirror this time. Hi, guys. Hello. Yeah. And then back. Yeah. Nice. It's hard, I know. And then up. Down. So I know most of you are probably young enough that you're like, I don't really need to practice getting up and down off the ground, right? However, it's a skill that if we don't practice it, it can go away very quickly. So let's just make sure we keep it, yeah? Good, one more each side. Good, last one. Now bring that foot forward. Now we're gonna tuck that toe under. When we do this, yes, our knee will have to move forward, but that's not the motion. We're trying to push down to lift us up. Think of an elevator, okay? Your shoulders can be mid-thigh, push both feet into the ground. Yeah. Now slowly lower. And then press, lift. Amazing. Guess what? You guys can all get off the ground without using your hands. Yeah. Good. Slowly lower. Couple more. Now, if you would like more challenge, press, hold. And then slowly lower, yeah. How's your hip feeling, okay? Good. Press and lift, yeah. Good, and then slowly lower. Nice job, everybody. 2. Last one, keeping that knee lined up with your second or third toe. Good, bring it down, switch legs. Boom, bring it forward. Tuck. Once again, we're pressing down to lift straight up, elevator, and slowly lower. It's kind of tempting sometimes to try to escalator. What that does is it puts more force on our joints. Is it bad to be able to do that? No, it's great to be able to, right? But we want to be able to choose when to do it. Good. Couple more. Good. Good save. I can see you guys in the mirror. And then if you want, you're gonna press, lift, hold, slowly take it back. That's the exciting side, right? Good. Use your hand on your thigh when you descend. Just give it a little support. Yeah. Yeah, boom. So easy. Two. Last one. And come all the way up. Nice job, you guys. All right, I'm gonna kick my mat out of the way a little bit. We're gonna slide one foot behind us, then cross. Now, make sure the knee is not going into a weird position with the foot. We want it to travel over the toes. Slowly lower. Yeah. And then tiny, tiny little lift and lowers. Good, 5. You can even rotate a little towards that front leg. Yeah. 4, good. 3, 2, hold. Yeah, and hold. For 5. How you guys doing? Pretty good? Good. Yeah. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. Yeah, so slide it back. Cross, make sure the knee is traveling where we want it to. And tiny little lift and lowers. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and hold. Good. Beautiful, everyone. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Grab your weights. So let those arms just relax. And then push one foot into the ground and just give me a little bicep curl. Oh, I regret grabbing these weights. Slowly lower. Yeah, so really allow gravity to pull, but resist a little. Yeah, and if you need to, you put your toe down. But notice how our torso responds to where the weights are, right? That's one of the cool things about our abs, is they're a way to transfer force, right? And of course, Ghost decided that it didn't want to listen to our music. So you guys keep going. I'm gonna put the music back on. What you doing? Apparently it's playing, but I don't believe it. Give me 3 more. We'll see. Maybe we get music, maybe we don't. Maybe I'll have to sing to you guys. 2. Last one. Good. Now, we're gonna set our shoulders here. So it's less of a retraction, more just of a posterior tilt. And you can either have that foot up or down. Elbows in, straighten your arms, hold. Yeah, everybody feel their triceps a little baby bit? This is where we're going. Bend, reach, squeeze, hold. Reach, squeeze, hold. Yep. Well, that's very funny. It just keeps scrolling through songs, not playing any of them. Cool. Technology doesn't like me very much, so I just blame it on a ghost. Good, we have 4. 3. 2. Last one, hold. Once again, make sure your shoulder blades are set. Keep the arms straight, let the arms come forward. Find that exact same position you just found, wide collarbones. Yep, good. And then forward. Wide collarbones. Beth, I would say don't retract. Don't retract, yeah. Yeah. Think about widening, yep, right there. Do you feel the difference in the muscles that are working? Good. Shoulders down, push your weights down slightly. Yes. I got really excited about your shoulder position. 2 more. Last 1. Good. Bring your weights to your shoulders. And press 1 arm up. And bring it down, other side. Hey, if you're still on 1 foot, do you feel how your body has to adjust from side to side here? Yeah. If you need to, you tap that toe down. Still work. Resisting gravity on the way down. Good. 3. 3. Try to open those armpits. I know that sounds weird, but think of them like a book. Yeah. Last 1. Good. Switch legs. Yeah. Good. So, once again, we've got our inner thigh, we've got our glute. Trying not to sink, and we just bicep curl. And slowly lower. Beautiful. And if you need, that toe taps down. No problem. Good. Still trying to feel the back corner. So if you're kind of in a little bit of a hip flexed position, it could be that your hip flexor is just trying to do a little extra help, right? I think of that TFL kind of like an overly eager intern. He has some jobs to do. He's like, please let me do all of them, right? But he's not good at doing all of them. He just really wants to help. So the glutes are more like upper management. They don't want to do anything. 2 more. Last one. Good. We're going to set those shoulders. So posteriorly tilt the shoulder blades. Elbows in. Just straighten the arms. Hold. Feeling those triceps? Good. Hold for 4. And 3. You're all amazing. And 2. Yeah, last 1. Bend and reach. Maybe you tap the toe down, maybe you don't. If you are bending forward, which is great, think less about holding yourself still from here and more about letting your hips slide back. We have just a couple more. 5, 4, 3. Good. Reaching down and back through the knuckles. Last one, hold. Just let those arms start to come forward. Widen through your collarbones like you're taking off a big jacket. Press your knuckles down and back. Hold. And then back. Press, hold. So it's kind of easy to squeezy, right? Which isn't bad, but sometimes our shoulders need to be able to stabilize with slightly less movement. 3. We're almost there. 2. Good. Last one. Come on up. You guys ready? Good. One arm. Boom. Other arm. Nice. And reach. Now, as we do this, the term shoulders down is kind of weird because then we think our shoulders should never lift, which is not accurate. It needs to be able to. However, we just don't want to have to initiate with the shoulder elevating. Initiate with that shoulder blade posteriorly tilting, right? Armpit opening. And then at the end, you're pushing so high towards the sky that our first rib rotates up. Good. 3. Doing okay, Beth? 2, last one. Nice job. Come on down. We're gonna come onto our back. Weights are gonna be near us, but we don't have to have them in our hands yet. Let's see if we can get it to play now. Now, bring your arms to the sky. And notice if your shoulder blades are curled or if they can be flat. So it's not that we're trying to get our arm bones down, we're trying to let our shoulder blades melt onto the floor, okay? Now, bending your elbows wide, you can press your elbows into the ground as long as you're not coming into a big internal rotation here. Once again, wide, like we're trying to take off a big jacket. And then straighten the arms, reach them forward with your pinky fingers. Shoulder blades then melt back down, widen, okay? Now, if this is where you are, great. If you would like to add on your weight, you can. Okay? So if you're adding the weight, still make sure you're not initiating by dumping the shoulders forward. Yes, our pecs are gonna have to help us, but if you try to find that scoop of your shoulder blades, a little smile of your shoulder blades, and leading it with your pinky finger, you're gonna get more serratus than pec, which is what we're trying to accomplish. And today I'm just gonna use my hands because my pecs are a little excited. Okay, we have 4. And 3. On the way down, imagine your back is trying to pull your arms down. And you're gonna let it, but you're also resisting just a little bit. Last one, good. Bring those hands back. And now I'm gonna add my weight. Hands can face each other, shoulder blades draw down, keep your elbows still as you slowly lower the weights and then squeeze up. Now, if you keep your elbows right above your shoulder, that means that the weight can't go super far because it'll bonk you on the forehead. That is correct. Hover above that and then press. Good. Notice how the triceps feel a little different in this position. That's because, I'll tell you why, all 3 of the tricep heads attach to different places. And one of them is the shoulder. So different shoulder positions can change the way the tricep works. Last 2, last 1, straighten the arms, bring the weights to the side. Hands behind your head, elbows spiral forward, shoulder blades draw down your back. Now, we're gonna do a couple different ways. We're just gonna kind of experiment to see what way we can engage our transversus abdominis easiest. So this first one, we're coming into a chest lift. Just think of shortening the distance between your ribs and your hips. And then look at your low abdominal area and notice if it kind of domed a little bit, if it created like a little bit of a bread loaf position, that means your rectus abdominis is doing extra work. So come down. This next one, think about sinking your belly button down before you move. See if it created the same bread loaf effect or not. And then in this next one, don't worry about sinking your ribs down. Just imagine you're coming up and over a beach ball and see what allows everything to connect together a little bit easier. And then down. Whatever one works for you is the one you're doing. So whether you sink your belly button down or you visualize the beach ball, it's up to you. We're gonna hold ourselves up, hold. Now press one foot into the ground, float the other leg to tabletop. Take your opposite hand, place it into the thigh. Push with the heel of your hand and push your thigh into your hand. And then back, push that foot into the ground, float, other side. Now, if you're pushing with your pec, it's not going to be the same as if you're pushing with that armpit a little bit, and then down. Do you feel how those abs get to recruit a little bit more? I'm going to take your silence as a yes. Good. Couple more. Beautiful, everyone. And by a couple, I mean a bunch more. And 2, try to maintain your lift. So we're isometrically working. Good. Last 1. Head comes down. Bring your other leg to tabletop. Good. Now, place your hands behind your thighs. Just gently start to press your thighs into your hands to get the hamstring activation. Squeeze your inner thighs like you're trying to pop that balloon. Ribs come down. You can keep your head down or come into your chest lift. We're going to start to drop the knees away from the face, stabilizing from the top of our ribs as well as the lower ones. Exhale, float them up. So don't necessarily get your feet to the ground. Hover it about 1 millimeter or higher above. And then hug them back. Okay. Now, if your head is down and you're maintaining a neutral pelvis, you're probably getting a little bit more multifidus and transverse abdominis. And if your head is up, you're probably getting a little bit more rectus abdominis. Neither is bad, neither is better, they're just different, right? Couple more. 4. 3 more. Curling towards your knees if your chest is lifted. 2. Last 1. Bring the knees in, push 1 foot away from you, rotate towards that opposite knee. Hold. Yeah, and then other side. Hold. And again, imagine pushing that foot into that heavy piece of furniture that you're trying to push across the room. Good. And breaks are great. Take them if you need them. 4. And much like we did standing, we're almost trying to get into hip extension before knee extension. So if your knee doesn't fully straighten, that's okay. 2. Last set, keep curling up towards the knee, ribs on the ground. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Nice job, you guys. All right. Everybody okay? We're going to take our hands, we're going to make a little diamond shape, slide it underneath your sacrum. So your low back will be in a nice hammock shape. And I just want you to feel where the weight is on your hand. Hopefully it is closer to your thumb. Now, just before we move, put more weight on your fingers, less on your thumb. Okay, now draw the weight onto your thumb again. Extend your legs to where they can go. And instead of just pushing your feet to the ground, think of connecting them to your thighs or your thighs to your ribs, pushing your feet away from you, and then flex, allow them to float back up. They don't need to go far, right? Push away, and then float them back up. Good. Try to keep your weight biased a little bit more towards the thumb. Two more. Last one. Good. Now, bring both legs down. before we even do anything, with your legs straight, see if you can go from neutral into an imprint relatively easily. If that's really hard to get into, don't worry about it. Bend your knees a hair, okay? Hands in front of your face. Think about them coming overhead, like you have a 10-pound weight and you want to slow down the descent. Now inhale and roll forward. Yep. Good. And then we roll back. So when we are here, you can always keep your knees bent. Think of somebody you like hugging you, and you're going to curl and roll all the way down. Yeah. Use your breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Roll. Yeah. If you bend your knees like this much, it might help. There are also gardening pads. When my back is a little sticky, I'll slide the gardening pad underneath it, and it helps a lot. Good. Yeah, letting those knees bend if you need to is great. Good. Yeah. 2 more, everybody. How's everyone feeling? Good? Good. Now the fun part, nobody feels as good anymore, do they? When I talk about the fun part, you have options. Option 1 is stick with this. Option 2 is as you curl, you're going to think about one of your inner thighs elevating. And then the opposite inner thigh. Yeah, good. Using the breath. Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. Good. In fact, type A muscles or type 1 muscles are the like slow twitch, right? Because they came in number 1 because they were slow and steady. Fast twitch, take a nap in the ditch muscles. Where the hair. Good. Now, if you want, you can use both legs. If you don't, that's okay too. Two more. Huh. What you were doing before looked so good though, so stick with that one. Last one. Bend your knees, feet apart, relax over your thighs. Good. And we're just going to come onto our stomach real quickly. So with this, we're first going to think about a lat pull. So come onto your stomach, find your abs gently. So your pubic bone is going to be heavier than your hip bones. Arms overhead. Think of a lat pull. So pull your armpit muscles down so much that your elbows come down to a goalpost position. Push your hands and elbows into the ground. So we've got our lats. Squeeze your glutes. We're trying to use our posterior oblique subsystem here. And then exhale, float your arms. And then slowly lower. So if you felt your erector muscles kick on, don't go as high. Push your hands and elbows into the ground, lengthen through the crown of your head, almost like your hands are trying to pull you forward. Glutes activate, maybe they lift your feet, maybe they don't. Lift your hands, and then back down. 2 more, hug everything, squeeze, and then down. Last one. Good. Now your hands can come forward, and if you're ready, we inhale and exhale as we come into swimming. If it's like you've hit really aggressive tides, 1 arm at a time. 4, 3, 2, 1. Press yourself into your rest position. Hands up and over to one side. Press your hips away. Other side. Come all the way to standing. Roll all the way up. Thumbs forward. Thumbs back, open your collarbones. Drop your arms down, slide your shoulders to your ears, drop them straight down. And give yourselves a round of applause. Nice work today. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are amazing. Nice work. Thanks. How's everyone feeling?
How do you improve the core? Just keep doing that exercise?
Yeah, I mean, just in general, like,
Yeah.
yeah. And